I've heard that there is some discussion about petitioning to a referendum. There's nothing definitive about that.
Yeah.
We discussed it at our last Board of Selectmen's meeting, and there's a great deal of concern about doing that because after we set the annual town meeting date, and if a petition comes in, then you have 14 days to set a referendum date.
And a referendum is additional costs in a year when we're already at a very tight budget.
How much does a referendum cost?
Well, I don't know the total cost because I don't know what the constable cost would be or where we held it, but it looks like for the registrars of voters, it would be about $3,000. And then finding the place to have it, because we can't have it at the community school while school is in session during the weekday. So we would probably have to have it either at a different location or on a weekend. And that is out of the norm for our voters.
Yeah.
But it's doable. I mean, it's just an unfortunate thing because we're trimming our budgets by $5,000 here, $3,000.
Okay, unfortunate things, guys. Referendum. What is a referendum? A referendum is a full day where people can come in and vote on this budget. It's not just going to a town meeting at night and then voting right after the town meeting, is what we traditionally have done. Last year, I almost didn't make it because I was working the concession stands at the baseball field. And when I got out after the game ran late, I rushed over to the school and I was able to cast my vote. I know you guys heard me complain. They didn't check IDs. They didn't make sure I was a town resident, nothing like that. There were 2 lines squiggling all around the place. People were joking about voting twice. And you scribbled on a piece of paper, check yes, or check no, throw it in the box. Didn't care who you were, see you later. Oh, budget passed. That is how they voted on millions of dollars of money in our town last year. I was disgusted that is how Pomfret votes. Referendum would give a full day, so there's no rushing. Every citizen has the opportunity to come. As long as you are within the vicinity of that day, you can come and cast your vote on the budget. And she just said, she doesn't know the full amount, but it was about $3,000 for the registrars. I'm sorry, most of the local towns around us do that. It is a cost of doing business. When you are a business, a multi-million-dollar business with a budget over, $15 million, I think, over $15 million, it's the cost of doing business. When we're talking about cutting costs, we're not talking about that kind of cost. That is an important necessity for running this business. It should be business ran, right? What we're talking about is the $5,500 to share what the rec is already sharing on Facebook. That is where you can cut costs. And you could take that $5,500 and we would happily put it in a referendum so we have more people that are able to vote, because they have talked about and bragged about how they pass these budgets with the minimum amount of people. They've talked about in the past having 10 to 20 people show up to pass a budget. That is unacceptable. I'm sorry. And last year they talked about not doing it well because they weren't anticipating the turnout that they had, which I feel like was like a couple hundred people. That's still horrible when you think about the population of Pomfret. So I'm sorry, a referendum I think is a necessity. I don't see why they're pushing back on it while they're talking about money, while they're doing stupid stuff with money in other places. You can find the money for it and make it happen. And that shows that you care about all residents, not just the 10 or 20 people that you have show up consistently that just push things through and don't look at anything and don't answer questions.
$1,000 there, and then we're going to have, an additional cost that we did not budget for a referendum.